A very good afternoon, students. So, today we are going to study Introduction to Spoken English and Pronunciation, in which we are going to cover phonetics and basic components of speech such as syllable, stress, rhythm, intonation, etc. Let's first understand the importance of spoken English, like why we are studying spoken English, why it is really necessary to speak in English. English opens new career opportunities. As all of you are students, right, pursuing your career and, in fact, budding lawyers. So it's very important for all of you to understand that it is really important when it comes to your career opportunities that you should know how to speak in English. First and foremost, learning English can help you pursue and obtain more career opportunities. These days, the job market is global. Many companies need employees who can communicate with partners and clients all over the world. Very often, that means finding employees who can really speak English. Moving on further, so we have to understand other important pointers also, like being able to make a good English conversation makes it easier to travel because English is spoken as a first or second language. In so many different countries, it is always easy to find English speakers as well as printed information in English, especially at hotels and in areas frequented by tourists. The English language give students access to information and research. Since many of the top academic journals are published in English, students and academics need strong English reading and writing skills. Moreover, for a research study or other publication to get sufficient attention, it should be published in English only. So there are so many things that why we need to speak in English, and why there is an importance of spoken English wherever we travel, wherever we go across the globe. Let's start with phonetics and pronunciation now. So these are say when we speak in English, so there are certain studies of how to how to make pronunciation, how to pronounce, and how to say a particular word, how to speak particularly. So phonetics is the scientific study of speech sounds of a language. It deals with the production, transmission, and perception of speech. Here we are at least here we are least concerned with the spellings or grammar or with other aspects of language, but pronunciation is really important here. Correct English habit can be developed through phonetics. Thus, the study of phonetics is one of the most important steps in spoken English. For example, it's not pronunciation, it's pronunciation. The study of phonetics is necessary if we want to acquaint ourselves with a foreign language. We need not study the phonetics of our mother tongue. Why? Because we grasp the correct articulation and pronunciation of the mother tongue by imitating our parents and people around us. But in the case of a foreign language like English, the study of its phonetics is very essential if you really want to do so. Before moving on further, there are certain advantages of phonetics that I would like to discuss with all of you. We can learn an accurate and pleasing pronunciation of a foreign language, no doubt. See, if we know what phonetics is all about, so we can learn an accurate and pleasing pronunciation of a foreign language. It can be used for teaching speech sounds, even to the deaf. It is useful to modify speech habits or to develop new speech habits. It makes us able to differentiate sounds of one language from those of others. So that's why it is known as the study of speech and the study of sound of a speech. So that is why it's important. And It also helps in the study of philology, science of language. You know how language is formed, uh, how basically how a sound of a particular word comes out. So everything is covered by phonetics. Okay, so phonetics and its branches. The field of phonetics is a multiple layered subject of linguistics that focuses on speech. In the case of oral languages, there are three basic areas of study, like articulatory phonetics, the study of the production of speech sounds by the articulatory and vocal tract by the speaker. Um, Acoustic phonetics, the study of the physical transmission of speech sounds from the speaker to the listener. Auditory is coming from audio, sound, right? The study of the reception and perception of speech sounds by the listener. That is what auditory phonetics is all about. So we have these three basic areas of the study that if you really want to study phonetics in depth, so these are three major areas of the study: articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and auditory phonetics. Now, a phoneme. Phoneme is a unit of sound that distinguishes one word from another in a particular language. An example of a phoneme is C in the word car, since it has its own unique sound. Say an example when you say car, so that C, that's an example of phoneme, right? In the word car. In English, the phoneme includes the phonetically differentiated sounds represented by P. So, for example, we have three words here: pin, spin, tip, as you can see. So, so here, phonetically, it differentiates sounds, right? Pin, spin, and tip. It is represented by P. P is here, if you can see the word, the letter, right? But the phoneme P includes the phonetically differentiated sounds here. Now let's move on to these, components of speech that we can talk about. A syllable is a unit of sound that creates meaning in language. Consonants join vowels to create syllables. Syllables can have more than one consonant and more than one vowel as well. However, the consonants and vowels that create the syllable cannot make more than one sound. Okay, so now we are going to study different syllables. Like some words they have one syllable, which is known as monosyllabic, and some ones they have many syllables, that is polysyllabic. Let's move on to the examples. Single vowel sound, like man. This word has two consonants, man. Along with me, whatever words I am pronouncing right now, so please make sure that you're also doing the pronunciation here. Okay, so this word has two consonants and one vowel. The one vowel sound, the short A joins with the two consonants to create one syllable, if you can say M-A-N, right? I hope you understand the consonant, the alphabets apart from the vowel that we have: A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Five vowels that we have in English alphabets. So M-A-N, that is man. The one vowel sound, the short A joins with the two consonants to create one syllable. Cry. This word has two consonants and one vowel. The one vowel, the long I sound formed by the Y, if you can understand. Here, there is no, as per like, there's no A, E, I, O, U, but if you will see the one vowel, the long I sound formed by the Y joins with the two consonants to create one syllable. Cry. Say cry. Double vowels with single sound. Brain. This word has three consonants and two vowels. The two vowels create one vowel sound in long A sound, brain. The single vowel sound joins with the three consonants to make one syllable. Tree. This word has two consonants and two vowels here, if you can see. The two vowels create one vowel sound, a long E sound. Tree. The single vowel sound joins with the two consonants to make one syllable. Let's move on further. Polysyllabic words. First of all, what do you mean by polysyllabic words? Words with more than one syllable known as polysyllabic words. Words more than one syllable. Polysyllabic. We have few examples here, like two syllables. This word has three consonants and two vowels here. Like baker. Bake, two consonants, BK plus one vowel A. ER one vowel, E plus one consonant R. Let's move on to the next one. Growing. Two syllables. This word has five consonants and two vowels here. Grow, three consonants, G, R, and W, plus one vowel, O. Growing, ING, one vowel, I, plus two consonants, NG. So here we have word with more than one syllable. It means we have two syllables here. Terrible, three syllables. That's why polysyllabic words. Terrible. How three syllables here? Syllables here. This word has five consonants and three vowels, if you can see. TER, two consonants, T and R plus one vowel. E. RI, one consonant. If you will just break terrible into three parts. RI, one consonant, I plus one vowel. The one consonant R plus one vowel. By mistaken, it's I written over here. It's R plus one vowel I. BLE, two consonants B and L. B and L plus one vowel I. One vowel E. So that is terrible. Okay. So these are the examples of polysyllabic words here. I hope you understood how syllable, why it is a unit of sound, because it creates meaning in language. If you can understand any word, if you are studying, when consonants join vowels to create syllables, it is having a meaning here. Man, cry, we studied single vowel sound, we studied like brain, tree, double vowels with single sound here. Polysyllabic words like baker, growing, terrible. How consonants and vowels are joining together, and how syllable is creating a meaning in a language. That's why you can understand the definition here. Let's move on further to the basic components of speech. Remember that students remember when we say spoken English, right? So even if I can understand that, okay, it's not very easy to become so fluent in English, in spoken English, who is specifically those who are starting with the beginning, right? Those who are beginners here. So, but it doesn't mean that you won't be able to speak in English. It is only a matter of practice. It is only a matter of habit. The more you are being habitual in speaking English, or you can say in spoken English, so more you will be able to, uh, you know, you will be able to get that command over English. So don't worry about it. Keep practicing. Whatever I'm saying, try to at least, at least pronounce words. So please work on your pronunciation part, so that slowly and gradually uh, you will be able to develop your pronunciation skills. Plus, you will be able to develop your spoken English. Moving on further, let's discuss the basic components of speech now. Very important, because when you speak, when it's about the sound of a word, sound of a speech, but phonetics is all about. So there are certain components of speech. In order to understand the sound, we have to understand these components. Like the first component that we are having is stress. Rhythm is the next, and third is intonation. Now, you must have seen so many examples in your day-to-day life. Whenever we speak in English, right, there are certain words, and there are certain sentences. Not no doubt we're using words over there as well. But when we speak, so we are putting stress on certain words, and on certain words we are not putting stress, right? So stress is the relative emphasis that may be given to certain syllables in a word or to certain words in a phrase or sentence. So what stress is all about? It is the relative emphasis that may be given to a certain syllables in a word or to certain words in a phrase or sentence. In English, stressed syllables are louder than non-stressed syllables. Also, they are longer and have a higher pitch. Remember that in no doubt English is a beautiful language. At the same time, it's a stressed timed language. Actually, English is a stress timed language. That means that stressed syllables appear at a roughly steady tempo, whereas non-stressed syllables are shortened. We put more emphasis, we put more effort when we put stress on a particular word. Say, for example, these highlighted ones, the darker ones, for example, holiday. Say, and please, this can be one of the interesting exercises that you can do along with me. Just with watching this video, we both, all of us can do this together. So, say after me, holiday, alone. So the darker the alphabets here in this word, say holiday. So here, why I have already highlighted the holiday part, because here we are putting stress. Alone, confidential. See here, the stress is on con and den, if you can see. And please, if you can just say it out, it will help you to understand. Confidential. Degree. Stresses here on degree. Weaker. Weak. Weak is the one where we are putting stress. Nervous. Parents. Parents. PA. Nervous. Weaker. Degree. Holiday. So here you can understand the word is, there's a single word given here like degree, but the stress is on DE. Degree. Right. So that is what stress is all about. It means that stressed syllables appear at a roughly steady tempo, whereas non-stressed syllables are shortened, like weaker, ER for a shortened time, whereas weak is for that longer duration. Weaker, degree. Okay, I hope you understood the meaning of stress and how we can understand or we can identify stress on certain words. Remember, students, whenever we speak a sentence, right? So there also stress on a certain word can be identified, and it will help you to understand the intensity of certain things, right? You will be able to understand the situation, the mood, everything with the help of stress on a particular word. Let's move on to the next basic component of speech, that is intonation. Intonation is the variation which takes place in the pitch of connected speech. The tune we use adds something to the words. It adds the speaker feeling, and the tune we use adds something to the words. It adds the speaker's feeling at the moment. This way of using tunes is called intonation. So, a very basic thing here that we can understand. See, it is the variation which takes place in the pitch of connected speech, right? The tune we use adds something to the words. So sometimes it happens high pitch, low pitch, right? The kind of feeling that you have at that particular moment. So here, intonation in the sound of a speech will help you, or will, somewhere will be able to express your feeling at that moment. So this way of using tunes is called intonation. Like thank you may be said in two ways. Say for example, just say along with me. In the first case, the voice starts high and ends low. For example, thank you. In the second way, the voice starts low and ends high. Say this shows so for example, how can we say thank you in two different ways? Let's start with the first case. Thank you. Now the second way, thank you. Right? So intonation is the variation which takes place in the pitch of connected speech. So it's basically high note, low note, or either you start with high note and ends with low note, or you start with low note and ends that with high note. So it depends on you, and it depends on the speaker's feeling at that moment. This shows a rather casual acknowledgement of something not very important. If you can see in the second way, if I said I'm starting with a low note, thank you. So something not very important. But if something is really, like, you acknowledge that something is really important, so definitely I'll be starting that with thank you for doing this. Let's move on further. When someone utters an echo, or asks declarative questions like he found it on the street, the intonation, that is the voice basically, is rising to higher pitch at the end. He found it on the street. When someone asks a why question, like where did he find it, or utters a statement like he found it on the street, the intonation, that is voice, is falling to the lower pitch at the end. You can yourself you know you can yourself evaluate this. You can yourself do this exercise. For example, if I'm saying he found it on the street, he found it on the street. Where did he find it? So at the end, the pitch is low. Yes or no questions, like did he find it on the street, often have a rising end, but not always. Right? Did he find it on the street? So that is how you can see right now, from if I'm speaking, there are variations in my tone, in my pitch. That is what intonation is all about. Let's understand another very important component of uh, basic component of a speech, that is rhythm. So what is rhythm? Rhythm is a flow, movement, procedure, etc., characterized by basically regular recurrence of elements or features, has beat, or you can say accent, in alternation with opposite or different elements or features. Right. So the rhythm of speech, dancing, the heartbeat. So I hope you can really understand that when I'm saying rhythm, right? Rhythm, you can see specifically those who dance really well, um, singers, right? Like, those who love singing. Also, they can really understand the importance of rhythm. They can really understand the importance of how rhythm plays major role when it comes to speak. So here we have to understand the meaning of rhythm, and at the same time the importance of rhythm. So now we can definitely understand this with the help of few examples here. Okay, so such recurrence pattern of flow or movement we can also talk about, right, as a beat, accent, and alternation with opposite or different elements or features, the rhythm of speech, dancing, the heartbeat, etc. rhythm, when words are arranged in such a way that they make a pattern or a beat. That's why it's like we keep on saying when we dance that follow rhythm, please. That you have to follow the rhythm properly, and if you're missing the beat, right, that is making the entire dance or whatever the song somewhere some inappropriate. I mean, somewhere you're not finding that perfect. So when words are arranged in such a way that they make a pattern or beat, example, there once was a girl from Chicago. I'm making a pizza the size of the sun, right? See, rhythm matters here. I'm making a pizza the size of the sun. There once was a girl from Chicago, right? So when words are arranged in such a way that they make a pattern or a beat, so even that's why every song is having a rhythm. When we dance, there are beats, they have rhythm, right? So there are certain other things that we can always discuss about rhythm, right? So so for example, a rhythm can be practiced by reciting groups of structures, like what you can really do that I'm you know telling you via this video. Rhythm can be practiced by reciting groups of structures of the same pattern. This is a chair. Okay. When will she come? Go to the market. That is a pen. There is there is a cat. Okay, sorry, there is cat. Let me find. Singing songs, anything like these are some structures, you know, uh, group of structures of the same pattern that I'm talking about. So all these things, that is the pen. There's a cat. Let me find. Go to the market. There's a chair. So singing song, reciting poems provide a useful practice if you really want to work on the rhythm part. So it's important for all of us to understand that if you recite a poem, so it automatically you know it helps you to practice a rhythm. So as far as the rhythm goes, the song or anything you're speaking, the speech, it will be also it will be also perfect, and it will also go with the flow. So we discussed all these things here, starting from the introduction importance of spoken English, introduction to phonetics and pronunciation, phonetics, its branches, phoneme, syllable, and different types of syllables that we discuss, polysyllabic words and monosyllabic words here, basic components of speech, stress, rhythm, intonation, and there are so many things that we have discussed within the components of speech and how they play really an important role here with certain examples that we discuss for intonation, for stress. We have through this video, we have also understood the importance of pitch, the importance of intonation when we speak, variations in your speech, in the sound, so that to make any conversation interesting, how rhythm plays an important role along with its example where stress needs to be given to say something. There are various examples for understanding to understand all these things, even if there are two different sentences. So for every sentence we have how the sentence gets different meaning because of the different kinds of basic components we are using over there. Two same sentences, but different stress we are putting on words makes it entirely different. I mean, the essence of the sentence, the essence of what you want to say, that changes. So automatically, this is something which helps you to make your speech more interesting and more effective, and you can really make your English communication, specifically spoken English, really effective and interesting by working or practicing all these components. So at the end of the day, please practice, practice, and practice. And I'm also sharing with you certain exercises for pronunciation. So to make your pronunciation more effective, there are certain exercises. For example, photographer, and photograph. So where are the stress? You have to identify the stress, and there are certain other exercises where you have to understand how two different words, right, but having same phonetics, or how the sound is changing with different words or with similar words. So you have to do all those exercises. Make sure you're practicing, because at the end of the day, practice makes a man perfect. So please practice in order to work on your spoken English part. Stay safe and all the best. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.